had since, the IPO is basically their big payday, right? So they want to protect the IPO, but there's also a lot of legal challenges that give Discord strong financial reasons to act. The penalties for doing wrong by the Online Safety Act in the UK are absolutely huge. But as much as there's plenty of people in the UK and Australia, that's hardly the entire world, yet Discord is trying to roll this out worldwide. Now they do know there are many laws passing in many countries, like say that Brazil is about to implement their own laws that this new system will implement, and that the EU and some US states are in the middle of planning their laws. And they say that by building this ourselves, we can show regulators that it's possible to verify age without collecting identity. And they go on to say that this is the model that they hope the rest of the world will adopt as countries pass age verification laws. So essentially, Discord are hoping that they can roll this out globally and then show the world that their way of solving this works, that their light touch method, that is automated with less than 10% being manual reviews, that can effectively protect children and teenagers. And they hope that if they can do that, then they can calm down the legislators. And that would mean that they would not have to roll out more hardline checks, the types of checks that they know will hinder a lot more people than what we're talking about today. So in many ways, this is Discord complying in advance, and know what way the wind is blowing, that has them hoping to influence these laws before they are written. But even with that said, and even if you can look at that and think, I guess I can see Discord's angle, and there are certainly worse angles they could take, it is still compliance, and there are other options. What do I mean by other options? Well, actually, I mean options that don't involve Discord. So, you gotta remember that everything happening here with Discord is happening because they are a platform, and the kids are on that platform. That means that they are liable, but platform-level verification is the last link in a long chain of potential checks. And right now, different parts of the world are trying to move that check somewhere else. This is the most important part of the story by far. It really is. I mean, if you had have just skipped the whole stuff about Discord and landed here, I'd still be happy because this is the thing we need to know. On December 23rd, a federal judge blocked a Texas law that would have forced mobile app stores to verify the age of users before they would download any age-rated apps. Now, this would move verification one link down the chain, from the platform to the app distributor. Now, a major tech industry trade group argued that this was a free speech violation. And it probably also helped that it would have exposed Google and Apple to a lot of liability. And the same trade group has since filed a similar challenge in Utah. Now, both these cases will likely end up in the Supreme Court, which does tell us how unsettled this matter actually is. But what if we go even further? What if we just go straight to the device itself? California's law from last October, with Colorado preparing something similar, takes a bit of a different approach. Now, it got support from Google, Meta, and several other tech companies, though Apple did actually oppose it because they warned that it risks exposing sensitive personal information. Though, of course, with Apple, we've got to remember that while their privacy stuff is, I think, genuinely better than almost all the other companies, privacy is, for them, also a moat in their business, so it's not like they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. But the way that this would work is that an age would be entered on the device when it's set up, and then the operating system would basically kind of flag it as an age category, and the only thing that would be checked by an app like Discord would be that everything on the device. So Discord would never see your identity or anything like that. It would just have a variable it could access from the phone that says teenager or not. And it's not just phones. The law does actually cover computers, Linux, even SteamOS, like, just, covers devices. Now, from a data protection standpoint, it is better. It means that the liability is resting with one device manufacturer rather than a patchwork of a dozen apps. But no actual data checks would mean that this would be easy to spoof. And there's no way to guarantee that the device is being used by the person who set it up, which means doesn't sound like it's a foolproof thing. But then there's the final step, and it's one I imagine many of you have seen coming. And that is a government-backed digital identity, one that exists regardless of platform. Now, this is the model that the EU wants to standardize. They've basically aligned on EIDs across Europe a while back, and now we're looking at age verification as part of the digital identity wallet, which is a whole big system that covers payment, travel, driving licenses, even contract signatures. And right now, the version being tested holds a library of your information that is pulled from official documentation that is uploaded. And when a site, app, or device needs your details, only those details are transmitted. And the end goal is a bit more ambitious. It is basically zero knowledge proofs. And that means that your data is trusted and encrypted, and that whenever a verification is required, a cryptographic proof is provided rather than the data itself. Now, we basically have to assume that some of these options will happen, right? But regardless of approach, they all have something in common. And that is that whether you're doing platform checks, app store gates, device level signals, government wallets, it all involves infrastructure being built. And that infrastructure, once built, can be used for things that it was not initially built for. A system designed to keep a 13-year-old off an adult Discord channel today is a system that knows who you are tomorrow, and maybe there could be unintended consequences. What if a bad actor could do some stuff across Discord and build a dataset of accounts that, rather than being verified to be adults, are verified to not be adults? That's not a nice thought, is it? But that kind of thing could be possible. And remember what Discord themselves have said here, that personal identification leaks or compliance with government investigations could lead to genuine threats to people's safety. Even listening to a lot of what Dario Amodei and some of the Anthropic policy people have been saying over the last while, one of the things that's concerning when it comes to mass surveillance is that you can just aggregate loads of already publicly available datasets, and power of those AI models, you can, for lack of a better word, cook. So it means that even if nothing changes about how much of your data is out there, the better technology means that way more surveillance is practical with access to all of that data. And that's the sort of risk that will grow as the infrastructure grows. And so the question isn't whether Discord's system is reasonable right now, it's whether the architecture being normalized across all of these solutions stays reasonable in 5 years. Or 10 years. God knows what will be in 20 years. It means that privacy and identity are now potentially required to be compromised in some level in order for you to exist on the internet. And the real fight is over how much data is compromised and who holds the keys to that data. And that is where I loop back to Discord. With that broader story covered, I think you can now understand why Discord are trying to comply in advance. They can basically see the turning tide on a global scale. They don't have Apple or Google money, they don't have the political clout to lobby in their own defense, so they are capitulating. They're hoping that their model, a light touch, automated, minimal verification one, is accepted by regulators before someone mandates something worse. But of course, in doing so, they are helping to build the very infrastructure that everyone here is worried about, and nobody has agreed what the rules for that infrastructure should be. Discord has become a test case. If their approach satisfies regulators, then that could be the model that every platform adopts. But it already doesn't satisfy the likes of UK regulators. And if it continues to not satisfy regulators, then harder checks will follow, and the architecture for those checks is already in place. But either way, the plumbing for all of this will get laid, and our privacy concerns will only grow, especially as our technology allows us to process all the data that is out there in radically different and faster and more actionable ways. Now, Discord is still responsible for their choices, but the argument isn't really about Discord anymore. It's about whether proving who you are becomes a requirement to exist online and who gets to hold that proof. That is not Discord's call. It's going to be the governments they're trying to get ahead of that will decide what the internet looks like, and that means we should actually try to engage with our governments to do whatever it is we can to not have the internet end up being some sort of draconian nightmare. But you know what's also a nightmare? Going through all the documents related to the Ashes of Creation shit show. Good news is we have went through those documents and we can learn what's going on in this video next. It is, at the very least, a spicy one. It is goddamn entertaining.
Caleb Hammer made it to Fox?
Well, the
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Wow. That's actually fucking based. That's insane. And my boy Caleb. Oh my fucking god. And watch it. What is he?
Americans are spending beyond their means.
Yeah.
Credit card debt just hit another record, $1.28 trillion. And
Oh, that's great.
more people expect to be worse off a year from now. It's why voices like
That's
Caleb
awful.
Hammer are standing out.
They expect to be worse off?
He has amassed millions of views online cleaning up financial messes. Watch.
You're acting like freshly new job, first 16-year-old job ever, got my little card from work, spending. I feel like you never matured.
Essentials
at 14.
only.
I don't know. I'm making payments on this. That's what a child says. I am angry. Actually angry.
And he joins
Fucking
us now, the host of
There he
Financial
is.
Audit on YouTube, Caleb Hammer.
The
Caleb,
reason, by the way, everybody started to hate on this guy, a lot of like leftists are starting to hate on him, is because what Caleb Hammer is revealing is that a lot of people's financial troubles are their fault. It's not capitalism. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Republicans. It's the fact that they can't stop buying Labubus and they have 6 subscriptions to Netflix because they keep buying new TVs and they forget the password to the old one. That's the real reason why they hate him.
good to see you. You don't look angry yet.
That's it.
Maybe we'll change that by the end of this segment.
That's how it is.
But let me start with you, sir, on credit card debt, okay? We hit another record. I know this is kind of the
Jeez.
bread and butter stuff for you. Are
Jeez.
you really nervous about America's credit situation on the planet?
We gotta do something about that.
It's bad. It's bad. In our consumer-driven culture right now, it doesn't matter what the job market looks like.
Yeah.
When people are getting laid off on our show, it doesn't matter. People will continue their spending.
That's right.
People will
They'll spend probably more because they're upset that they got laid off, and so they have to spend money to make themselves happy.
continue
That's
their
what they
spending no matter what in our consumer-driven culture. I mean, right now, it's not just credit card debt as well. It's bringing in buy now, pay later.
Yep.
26% of
If
people.
you Klarna a DoorDash, you should go to jail. Just go get them. Go get them. You obviously, you've got problems. You've got big problems. We should just go get you. We should just go get you. That's it.
That use credit cards regularly and hold those debts are now getting into buy now,
I
pay
heard
later.
you're able to buy what do you call it? Buy OnlyFans subscriptions on Klarna. Actually, I found out it was fake. For now.
As well. It's only going to get worse. It's headed in the wrong direction, unfortunately.
Caleb, there's someone on my panel, though, who once told me that debt is as American as apple pie. We just got to embrace it because
Yeah.
eventually we'll grow, our wages will pick up, and we'll grow our way out of our debt crisis, whether it's the country or, in your case, more poignantly, the credit card crisis. What do you say to people who say that?
Yeah, I mean, it is a part of our culture, right? I mean, like I said,
Take out as much credit card debt as you possibly can. Pay off one credit card with another credit card. Lie on the application. Misrepresent your income. Do everything you can to get as much money as possible. Never give them your phone number. Never give them your address. Use as many fake pieces of information as you possibly can. Take out as many fucking credit cards, rewards program, bonus, buy now, pay later, because this is what you do. You buy now, and then you don't pay later. You just take the money. My mom did this. She did this for over $100,000. She finessed these companies out of $100,000. And do you know what they got out of her? Nothing. Not a single fucking thing. And that was it. You could just declare bankruptcy. This is not financial advice, by the way. All of this is totally sarcastic. So that's what you do, is you take out as many of these as possible, and then you just declare bankruptcy, and oh, your credit score's fucked up? Well, you didn't have any money to begin with. What the fuck did you need a credit score for? Just do it under somebody else's, use another person's name. How do you think illegals buy things? Just do the same fucking thing. You just go use somebody else, you sign under them, you have a co-signer, you figure out another way to get around it. Like there are a million ways. Listen, if you do not care about the social contract, you can become rich. Whenever you expand your mind and you're existing inside of the realm of paying off debt with debt, now you're cooking. Now you're there. You've ascended.
we are very consumer driven, and I love
Oh, yeah.
my credit cards. but I use it properly. And 50% of Americans
Never used.
do
I've
not.
never used credit card in my life. Never had credit card. Never bought anything on time. I've never bought anything ever like that. Like, whenever I wanted my first car, my second car actually, my dad bought me my first car. I got lucky. Second car, I saved up $1,500 and I bought it flat out cash.
50% of Americans have a revolving balance month to month.
Yep.
That's when that average interest rate in our country of about 20% is breaking down on a monthly basis and accruing, driving people into worse and worse credit card debt.
Yep.
That's not building their households. In fact, 88% of Americans headed into 2026 said that they are financially stressed about their households.
I'm gonna be honest, like y'all Muslims, like y'all do this shit right. Like how you cap that interest and like that usury shit. Like y'all get this right, we don't. We get finessed by this like crazy.
They're struggling. 50% of Americans think they're gonna die with that.
Yeah,
National debt, it's there.
They won't. You won't die because like eventually they're gonna write off your debt as income and they're gonna send it to the IRS. That's what they do. But it takes like 20 years for that to happen.
They manage it very well, obviously, but this is a household problem. People are not willing to stop no matter what the economic situation in the United States looks like. It doesn't matter to get the things they want. On our show, people think and say that it's because of an emergency.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because I had
That's
to pay
the emergency right there. It's behind them. That was the emergency. It was a limited edition.
this bill. But then I go into people's spendings, and I know it's anecdotal because we're just looking at the people we're filming with, but even still, these are average Americans, and it's going to McDonald's, it's going on a trip. It's going on things that doesn't matter, things we call BS on our show.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Like, and it's all kinds of stupid things like that. And it's like, you know, the treat yourself. I'm sorry, but like the people that say treat yourself and fat people, if you want to look at a Venn diagram, that's a circle. Treat yourself? Yeah, you did that one too many times at McDonald's, didn't you? And now you fat as hell. That's it. That's what fat. It's the mind. That's what I was talking about. People being spiritually fat. There's people that are physically fat, and that's just what happens, right? Some guys are born bigger, right? Maybe they just like eating food, and it is what it is. But there are people who are spiritually fat, and that's what I'm talking about. Spiritually fat.
And that's what they are willing to just put on their credit cards to make sure they're happy in living the things that they feel they're entitled to, a part of our culture. So you're right. It is American.
They're entitled. Yeah, they deserve to go on a vacation because they worked really hard being a receptionist for 20 hours a week.
Caleb, this is Marcus. I'm always entertained by the way you speak to people, but what frustrates me about the way you speak to people is I want financial literacy to be the backbone of things, and I would imagine that financial literacy is what you think they're missing. Is it the lack of financial literacy, or is it the issuance of credit by the credit card companies and the banks that is ultimately the culprit? Who's the
Neither.
culprit?
It's impulse control. That's the real problem. It's impulse control and no consideration of the future. It's people that are so obsessed with reclaiming their childhood. If you go and you watch Caleb Hammer's videos, you're going to see a bunch of fat millennials that are retarded with Pokemon tattoos that can't figure out how to save $200 a month. That's the problem.
Culprit in your mind?
That's where we're at.
It's going to come down to the user in the end. I mean, we practice personal responsibility.
Disney adults.
I was someone who had...
What they need to do with Disneyland is they need to make all the rides smaller. I don't want to elaborate any further, but I think that this would pretty much solve a lot of problems.
Before maxed out credit cards when I was in college.
Like
McDonald's, piano, you name it. It was my responsibility for getting into that debt. It was my responsibility getting myself out of that debt in my early adulthood.
Exactly. Like anybody that gets themselves in debt, put themselves in debt. You did this to yourself. There is one exception. I do not hold people accountable for taking student loans. And I want to explain the reason why I don't hold them accountable for it, and I don't think it's a bad decision on the user's part. The reason why is because you are groomed, and I'm using this word intentionally, you are groomed from age 5 to age 18 to think that going to college means that you will be successful in life. And if you spend your entire childhood being groomed into this ideology, and the only thing that you have to do is take on $40,000 of debt, and you don't know what debt is, you're not educated, you are intentionally, in my opinion, not educated on what interest is. You understand how to divide fractions, but you don't know what an interest rate is. You know, like, this is the kind of things that happen in high schools nowadays. And so only 40K, maybe I'm a little bit outdated, okay? I'm 35. And so maybe it's 80K now. It depends on your school, perhaps. But my point is that a lot of the people that take out these fucking loans, they get groomed by their schools, they get groomed by society, they get groomed by sometimes their parents to take on these Faustian pacts that basically make them indentured servants for the next 30 years of their life. I actually don't blame young high school kids for making that decision, and I think that's a failure. That's a structural, institutional failure. But everything beyond that's the problem. Like taking out, like, you know, you've got a credit card with Target or Kohl's, right? And you have $2,000 on it because you can't stop buying Chinese food. Well, that's your fault. You did that.
Making more money and being responsible and learning a budget, especially in today's culture, where we have access to more resources than any time in human history.
Absolutely.
GPT, Grok, you name it, Claude. You can search anything. You can read any financial book. You can watch any podcast like Financial Audit, and you can get your life together. Credit cards, it's a product. I understand.
How is the best game of the year? How is one of the most rewarding games of all time? Expedition 33 made. This guy goes up, game of the year, biggest studio, fucking everybody's talking about him. He says, oh yeah, shout out to YouTube tutorials. Yeah, shout out YouTube tutorials. They taught us how to make a video game. Hey, yo, peace.
Then why they're making that product, and we can make certain regulations around that product. But in the end, it is still someone going out, choosing to apply for that credit card, and then choosing how to use them. I don't expect everyone to be perfect at 18, 19, even up the way 25, but once you're in that adulthood and you're
My mom was crashing out at 65. 70, 60 years old. She bought $200 of shit that we couldn't afford at Sam's Club. I say, Mom, I need a new Soul Calibur. She says, I know, put it in there. You want more potato chip? All right. Of course. And I say, Mom, on the way home, can we get Taco Bell? And she says, do I still have that 20 in my wallet? This is the only 20. It's the last 20 left. There are no more 20s. She got no job. And I said, yeah, you still have 20? She says, yeah, sure. Let's get that Taco Bell right now. She never even thought about it. She was like, I've never met a person in my entire life that had less forward planning than my mom. She would not even think about what's happening as it's happening. She would not even think about that as it was happening. Like, she wouldn't even think about it, like, even in the moment. Impulsive, she didn't give a fuck.
Using the educational resources that we have, it's your fault.
I appreciate you acknowledging learning, though.
Stupid.
Jackie.
Caleb, I'm just wondering if you think that social media has anything to contribute here,
absolutely.
because
100%.
what I've seen, and we've always
people trying to keep up appearances and trying to live a lifestyle that social media makes them think they deserve. 100%.
and put debt on our credit cards. We've seen that over time in this country. But culturally speaking, with the rise of technology and Instagram and seeing what your neighbor has and seeing what that person has and the trip that they went on, I mean, people will kill themselves trying to take a selfie.
Then they deserve to die.
Off the side of a cliff because they want people to see that. How much of this sort of consumption is and culture and psychological aspect is being driven by social media and contributing to what
I have no sympathy for weak-minded people that are addicted to consumerism and want to keep up appearances. I have no sympathy for them. Honestly, people like this should be happy that they're alive. Natural selection would have gotten rid of them a long time ago. Somehow they're here. They're addicted to Labubu's.
Always see it on our show every day.
I have sympathy for them in the same way that I have sympathy for a dog that licks up a bunch of coolant because it smells good and the dog think it tastes good and then the dog dies. Like, I have sympathy for them in that way, right? It's like, damn. You're really stupid. You just didn't know any better, huh? You just dumb as fuck. You know, like that's the way I see them the same way.
If you remember the Labubu, the Labubu thing that was sweeping the world just a couple months ago, we had guests every single week that were maxing out credit cards just to get the next Labubu because it's
there's this gas station I go to, and there's this gas station I go to. It has Labubus at it, and it has gambling at it, and I see these stupid these like 60-year-old fat hogs just putting in dollar bills to this fucking. And they're just sitting there doing it again and again and again. It's like a dog drinking coolant. That's what it is, like a dog drinking coolant.
posted everywhere online. And now we're not in the era of Beanie Baby trends lasting for years. We're in the micro trend where things get replaced every single month and people just
ain't nobody thinking about little boo-boos anymore. Let me see what's this. The fuck? The fuck? Just put it in there. Little boo-boo. Watch. People don't give a shit about this anymore. Those stupid fucking girls wasted their fucking money. Nobody even cares about it anymore. They fell off. Little boo-boo fell off. That's what's crazy. Is that they thought they were gonna overtake Funko Pop? Funko Pop is back. It's back in a big way. See, they thought it was better, right? And Funko Pop, it's still there. U2s? It's not really that popular. Yeah, people don't really use those. And so fidget spinners, yeah, exactly. And so this is what they do. They wasted their money for a fad, and it's already over.
To be a part of the next thing, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
And it's a huge part of our culture. But that's why I am happy that many states around the country, now more than half the states, have
it's an engineered part of our culture that's a psyop in order to keep stupid people spending money.
Personal finance classes is required to graduate from grade school.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're fighting back on that.
I think we need to hold more kids back from 5th grade. I think that you shouldn't be allowed to go to middle school if you can't do multiplication and division. Like, and I really think we should do this, right? Is that 3rd grade? No, I think 5th grade, right? Because it's like that's like a tier list, right? It's like kind of, you know, like in a gotcha game where like you have to do like a trial to like advance to the next world level, right? And so it's like now everything's level 50. And so, but like if you really suck, you can't even get that done. And so what I think we need to do is we need to have these tests for like 5th graders. And like if you can't pass the test, then you stay in 5th grade. And then if you can't pass it 3 times, then there's like a secondary education system that's made for people that are stupid. And so like then you learn how to like they give you a hammer and then they show you how to take a big rock and how to make it smaller and turn it into little rocks. And that's all you're going to be good for. And I think that's a nice thing, right? You're going to teach them a skill. Because like they ain't never going to understand algebra. Like you can't figure out division and like you're fucking 11 years old. Honestly, like you're already cooked. It's over. It's over. And I know people might not want to hear that. Like, oh, you can't just say that about an 11-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, I can.
As well.
Okay,
Buckle up here.
Caleb, Mr. Debt and Apple Pie might have a question for you here. Larry Kudlow himself.
Well, look, I think what you just said is very good. I mean, any education regarding personal finance is a very good thing, and I don't doubt that a lot of people mismanage their credit cards. I will say this: household wealth in this country through the end of last year is $180 trillion. $180 trillion.
That's a lot of money.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's everything. Stocks, bonds, homes, cash, blah, blah, blah. And, less liability.
I need that.
So your number 1.28 trillion. I think that was number. Okay, but 180 trillion is bigger than that. Actually, I'd go a step further.
Shut the fuck up. Go back to your nursing home. Like, who the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you just shut up? Okay, Grandpa, wrap it up. Oh, what are you talking? What are you even saying?
Debt is it's an American South. The country was founded on debt. Alexander
It is founded on debt.
Hamilton, God bless him. I just spoke to him.
I bet you probably did. You're that fucking old.
But the point is, debt in public, federal debt in public hands, which is about $30 trillion. Okay. You know, that's even bigger than this 1.28 trillion. But again, compared to 180 trillion of household wealth, it's a debt equity ratio that any company would be proud of.
That's right.
And the other one,
What do you like? What was this? What was it? Like, he's like getting paid by MasterCard or something like this? Like, what are you talking about? Like, obviously, like that's the case. But like, if you look at debt, it's primarily held by a small amount of people, right? It's like poor people. Like, I don't think that. And also, here's another factor, right? It's like Caleb Hammer doesn't bring somebody on that's been crushed by medical debt, and then he like makes fun of them for like not being able to pay for their broken leg. He makes fun of them for paying for Labubu's instead of paying for their broken leg. He makes fun of them for paying for a new car instead of fixing their house. So like this entire, like everything about this premise is wrong.
1.28 trillion. I mean, it wouldn't show up on the. You know, you'd have to go from logs to
Shut the fuck up. Like I hate listening to fucking
indexes anyway. I just don't. It's not a catastrophe, okay? And we're living in a.
Shut up! It obviously is a catastrophe. Like it's bottom heavy, and look at the income distribution. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, it's just, this is so stupid. Also, this is all. Keep in mind that this is projected. This is like saying Elon Musk has $850 billion. No, he doesn't. If Elon Musk tried to sell that $850 billion worth of stock, it would make the stock's value go down astronomically. It's not like nothing about this is true. It's stupid. It's stupid philosophically. It's stupid functionally. It's not even true. Like everything about Jesus.
Very prosperous times, and you know, people. You know, if you produce, you create income. Consumers spend their income. But the education part, I'm going to give you a lot of credit, Caleb. Yeah. The education part is really important, and I think that is missing from the story.
All right, Caleb, we'll give you the last word on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. We live in a very prosperous country, and a lot of people are lucky. I'm not freaking out on credit card debts in terms of like.
I should be. Absolutely, you should be, because it's a mindset.
Collapsing the U.S. economy. I don't want to bring it to that level. That's not what I'm trying to say. But from a household to household concern, where people are maxed out, where 50% are carrying those balances month over month at a 20% interest rate. People can't afford emergencies with that.
Yeah.
Half the country says they can't afford an emergency if it pops up of like $1,000. The majority of Americans are feeling uncomfortable headed into this year about personal finances, and credit cards are bad. Card debt can be good. Credit cards can be used right. Yeah. We love mortgages. I'm assuming everyone on the panel loves a good mortgage. I'm not complaining about debt in general. I use it myself, but irresponsible credit card usage is bad for the household.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's a key point.
Okay, we found agreement between the guy who helps people fight debt and Mr. Apple Pie and debt himself. That's an amazing thing. Caleb Hammer, that was so fun to hear from you. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you again soon, I hope.
What a fucking G. I love, just a second, sorry about that. I love Caleb Hammer. I'm gonna link y'all the clip, right? Apparently this just came out. I hadn't seen it yet.
Essentials only. Let's go. Hello, friend. What do you want? Good day. Take your time. Say it. Hello, friend.
Fucking quest, Holitore. I hope that I did collect all the fucking quests for Holitore. I see you later.